everyone, thanks for joining me for today's practice. Today's class is all about the hips. So we'll start off with one block facing up, one block on its lowest setting, connected. We'll grab a hold of that bolster or blanket depending on what you have at home. And you'll take that bolster and rest it against the blocks. Press slightly on the top to make sure that that top block doesn't fall over. If it feels secure, then it's ready to go to get started in our practice. Coming over with your hips toward the side of that bolster, we'll rest all the way down just so that we can roll on over. And roll on over to your back in this space. Bring the feet together to touch, knees apart, nice and wide. Hands can come to the hips. Finding your Supta Baddha Konasana supported for pregnancy. Now the further you walk your feet out, the less of a hip opener it is. So take what feels comfortable in your hips for this space. Bringing your hands to your hips. Breathe into this space, big full breaths in. Big full breaths out. Connecting to your breath, big breaths in. Big full breaths out. Allowing yourself the space to settle into, softening through the shoulders, surrendering into this space, allowing the hips to gently open, connecting to your baby. You can always bring one hand to your baby. And take 2 more breaths right here. Using your hands, we'll guide the knees together. Hinge over toward one side, rolling onto your side first to help press yourself up. And we'll come on to hands and knees. Let's move that bolster off to the side. Moving the blocks to the top of your mat. Let's find that tabletop pose. On hands and knees, move the hips from side to side, stacking shoulders over wrists. As you move the hips from side to side, notice how your hips feel in this space. And coming through center, let's make big circles with our hips, drawing the hips all the way around in one direction. Breathing into the sides of the body, the hips. Next time you come through center, change direction of your circles, move the opposite way. And then make your way back to that neutral tabletop pose, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Let's take a nice wide stance with your knees. Big toes can touch. Drop into a child's pose. Maybe you stack your hands and bring your forehead to your hands instead. Maybe you grab a hold of a block and bring your forehead to a block if you'd like a little bit more space, depending on your trimester. And maybe you come all the way down to your forehead if that feels most comfortable to you in this space. Wherever you are, going to take a few deep breaths right here. Big full breaths in. Big full breaths out. Sending your breath toward your hips. Notice how your hips feel in this space. Slowly, when you're ready, start to come back onto hands and knees. Walking the knees back in. We'll walk the hands forward, tuck the toes under, and lift the sit bones up and back for downward facing dog. You can lift the heels nice and high here. in prenatal yoga and giving yourself a little more space, or maybe bending into your knees. Finding your first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Slowly shifting your gaze forward, we'll walk our feet all the way up to our hands. You can bend deeply into the knees. Content the fingertips to allow yourself to get there. Allowing yourself more space between the legs for your belly. You can guide your hands to your thighs and rise all the way up into your Tadasana mountain pose. So arms reach down by your side. Feet can be about shoulder width apart to give yourself more space to balance. Arms reach down by your side. Connect to this space. Let's take a big breath in. Arms reach toward the sky. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Lead with the heart. Bend into the knees in these forward fold for pregnant yoga. Hands can come to blocks here. Nice wide stance to give more room for a baby as you fold. Now folding here, we're avoiding the compressive fold. So we're keeping that bend in the knees. Giving ourselves more space for baby. Inhale, lengthen halfway. And on your exhale, fold once more. Big bend in the knees. Allow the upper body to just drape over the lower body with that bend in the legs and creating that more space by taking that wider stance. Slowly rise up. Nice flat back. Arms can reach toward the sky. Keeping your core engaged by hugging that baby in. Arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, let's take a big step back on our mat with one foot, taking a nice wide stance here. We'll turn the right toes out, left toes stay in, big bend in that right leg, arms reach out to either side. Take a big breath in for your warrior two stance. Right heel aligns with the mid-arch of that back foot. Big full breath out. One more big breath in warrior two. Big full breath out. Slowly start to hinge forward, guiding that right forearm down toward the thigh. Left arm can expand on overhead, extended side angle. Option for more experienced practitioners to bring your hand to that block if that feels good, to reach that left arm on overhead. But wherever you are, if your hand is on that block, or if your forearm is on the thigh, you're keeping the heart open and keeping both sides of the body nice and lengthened. Breathing into that right hip crease. One more breath right here. Inhale, rise all the way back up using the sides of your body to help bring you up. And then guide your hands to your hips, straighten into that front leg. Toes turn toward the front of the mat. Let's turn the left toes to face the opposite side. Move that block over to the other side. Right foot is now parallel with the back of the mat. Big bend in that left leg, warrior two on the left side. Arms reach out to either side. Take a big breath in. Big full breath out here. One more big breath in. Big full breath out. Slowly start to hinge forward. Guide that left forearm down toward the thigh. Right arm can find that expansion. You can stay right here. You could guide that left hand down toward that block to lengthen a little bit more, but keep the sides of the body nice and expansive. Take what feels best in your body in this space. One more breath in the space. Slowly rise all the way back up using the sides of your body, pressing down through that front leg. Let's straighten into the leg and turn the toes to face the top of the mat. So from here, toes slightly in, heels slightly out to protect the knees, and we'll guide our hands to our hips. Take a big full breath in to lengthen. And on your exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward, leaning with the heart. Grabbing a hold of that block and placing that block down on your mat. In this nice wide stance, bringing your hands to your block. Now option here, depending on how often you practice, it might feel good to bring your hands to the earth. It might feel good to bring that block to the lowest setting. Taking a few breaths right here in this wide-legged forward fold. Now this fold isn't as compressive because you have more space with the legs nice and wide. So taking what feels best in your body. 2 more breaths right here. And then slowly we'll guide ourselves back up. Now to come out of this pose with big bend into the knees, bring your hands to your hips or to your thighs. You can press yourself back up. Now from here, we'll turn the toes out, heels in to come into goddess pose. Now goddess pose is normally safe for all trimesters. However, if you are in your 3rd trimester, late 3rd trimester, and you know that your baby is breech, I would avoid doing deep squats. So if that's the case, come back into that wide-legged forward fold. If not, we're gonna move into a goddess pose. So toes out, heels in, big bend into our knees. And you can guide your hands to your thighs. Moving into the hips, we'll move from side to side. Maybe you lift up one foot as you move from side to side, breathing into this space, the hips, softening into this space. Now sometimes goddess pose can be difficult to hold for a bit of time, but what is good is throughout pregnancy yoga, you're really working on your breath control. So finding that big, deep belly breaths in difficult situations can be very useful during labor later. So maybe you bring your hands to heart center, maybe you keep your hands on your thighs. We're gonna pause here for a few deep breaths. Just notice your breath and try and soften into this space, relaxing the facial muscles. Big breaths in, big full breaths out. One more breath in, big full breath out. Slowly start to straighten into the legs. You can heel toe the feet together, stepping back to the top of your mat. Arms come down by your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Big breath in here. Big full breath out. One more big breath in. Big full breath out. You're at the top of your mat. Ground down through your feet. Arms come down by your side. Big breath in, arms sweep toward the sky. And on your exhale, hands come down to that right thigh. We're gonna step the left foot to the back of the mat. So option here to stay here and grab a hold of those blocks, placing them on either side of that front leg. So normally that foot is like all the way in the center. You want to heel toe that foot nice and wide to give yourself a little bit more space in your pregnancy. Guide your hands toward that right thigh and then reach the arms toward the sky if that feels okay. Always an option to stay right here in this high crescent lunge. Maybe the arms reach. Big breath in. Big full breath out. Lengthening through that back leg, back heel is lifted. Hips and shoulders are squared toward the front of the mat. One more breath. And on your exhale, hands come down to the thigh or to the blocks. Let's lower that back knee down to the earth. Now in this space, go ahead and flip the blocks onto whatever setting feels comfortable. We're coming into a low lizard lunge. So with that right foot heel toed out really wide on your mat, you're taking up more space here. Keeping your hands on the blocks, this might feel like enough on your hip. You can walk that back leg back and down, really stretching into that left hip flexor. You can stay here. You can drop your forearms down to your thigh. Remembering that, and I'll turn around so you can see the outside of my leg a little bit better on this side. You can allow this leg to reach out toward the side a little bit more to give yourself more space for baby. 2 more breaths in this space. If you're on your forearms, start to make your way back to your hands. We'll slowly tuck the back toes under. Start to walk that back leg in, and we'll step that left foot to the outside of the left hand at the top of the mat. Big bend in the knees, and slowly rise all the way back up to stand. Pausing here for a moment, arms reach down by your side, close the eyes. And then blinking open the eyes, we'll switch to the other side. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands come down to that left thigh. We'll step that right foot back on our mat. Heel toe that left foot out to the side to create more space in your high crescent lunge on that left side. So really reaching through that back leg, squaring hips and shoulders toward the front of the mat. Arms can come to your thigh if you find your way into this space. You can always guide your hands to your blocks at the top of the mat, or start to reach the arms toward the sky. Lengthen through that back leg. Fire up the back leg to keep that leg engaged. Big full breath in here. Big full breath out. Keep the shoulders softened away from the ears. One more breath in. Exhale, hands come down to the blocks, to your thigh. Wherever feels comfortable to settle into this low lizard lunge. We're going to drop that back knee to the earth and untuck the back toes. Heel toe that left foot really wide on the mat, maybe taking a little more space up, and then you can stay here. You can bring the blocks to whatever setting feels comfortable for your hips, knowing that one hip might feel tighter than the other, and that is perfectly okay. Just breathe into the space. Connecting to your breath, you can bring your forearms down toward that block if that feels okay. You're stretching into that left hip crease and that right hip flexor. Few more breaths right here. Big breaths in. Big full breaths out. One more breath in. One more full breath out. Slowly coming back to your hands when you're ready. Tucking the back toes under, start to slide that back leg in. And this time we'll step the left foot to meet the right. Back into your tabletop pose. Move the hips from side to side. Coming back to center. Let's walk the knees wide, big toes touch. Child's pose. Drop down to your balasana. Maybe the forehead connects down to the earth. Two more deep breaths right here. All the way back up when you're ready, coming back to your hands. We'll slowly shift over to one side and we'll make our way into a wide-legged pose. Now in this space, in this wide-legged fold, you can bring your feet out as far as feels comfortable in your body, not needing to get into a full split if that's not in your practice. Your feet can be as close as this, or they can be all the way out. Just know that there is relaxin in your body when you are pregnant, and that can sometimes allow you to get deeper into stretches. So find what feels comfortable in your body in this space, knowing that you don't need to push it just because your body is allowing you to be a little bit more flexible than usual. Allow yourself to find what feels comfortable for you in this space. So I'm gonna grab a hold of a block. I like to put my block right in front of me. You can stay upright like this, breathing into this space, lengthening through the sides of the body, flexing through the feet. Or you can hinge forward and guide your forearms down to that block. Wherever you are, we'll be here for 3 full breaths. So take big full breaths in and big full breaths out. Two more. Big breaths in. Big full breaths out. If you're on your forearms, start to make your way back to your hands. We'll use our hands to bring the feet together to touch. Knees splay out to either side for Baddha Konasana, our cobbler's pose. Now, option here to grab your blocks and place them underneath your knees for extra support. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can just keep the blocks to the side, guiding your hands to your ankles or wrapping your hands around your toes. Take a big breath in to lengthen upward. And on your exhale, you can hinge slightly forward, just going to where it feels comfortable. For me, in my third trimester, I like a little bit more space here, so I don't like to fold as far forward. But allow yourself to take what feels good in your body. You can even walk your hands forward if that feels good. Breathing into the hips. Big breaths in. Big full breaths out. Slowly coming all the way back up. And we'll find our way into a comfortable seat. Now in this seat, you can prop yourself up on a block or a bolster. This time I'm going to prop myself up on the bolster or pillow. Allow yourself to just sit a little higher. It might feel more comfortable in your pregnancy. And then guide your hands down toward your thighs or your knees and allow yourself to soften through the shoulders. Let's really work on our breath in this space, knowing that breath is so important throughout pregnancy and into labor. And being able to control your breathing can be a very powerful tool during labor to be able to utilize. So notice that inhalation, the length of your inhalation. Notice the length of your exhalation. When we allow ourselves to keep that exhale longer than the inhale, we can connect to that parasympathetic nervous system, which stops that fight or flight system and brings us back to this neutral, calm sensation. So really notice the length of the exhalation. Maybe you count on the inhalation to 4. Maybe you exhale to 6 on your exhalation. Counting in 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing at your own pace, just notice the length of that exhalation. Taking one more round of breath in this space. And then slowly guiding your hands to heart center, bowing your chin toward your chest. Take a moment to thank yourself for finding time to practice today, to connect to your breath, to connect to this space. I thank you for letting me guide you through this practice today. It was, as always, my great and humble honor to guide you.